Welcome to those that are just joining. I'm Ashleigh Larkin. I am the new principal at Sheiko. I'm so excited to be with you this evening. We're planning on taking about a half hour or so we should be wrapped up by 6:30, but I did want to provide you the opportunity to meet me and to get to know me a little bit before we have popsicles with the principal, and then also answer some questions that you may have. I also have my list of questions from those that submitted questions to the Google form. So thank you to those that did that. I'll be sure to get those answered tonight. Hello to all of our families. If there's students joining, I cannot wait to meet you in a couple of weeks. Actually less than a couple of weeks right now. And it looks like we're slowing down a little bit. So I'm sure we'll still have people join, but I am going to go ahead and get started. Just like I said, to value everyone's time for joining. Really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. Just some logistics for tonight. We are in a webinar format, so I feel like over the course of the last 17, 18 months, we've gotten very used to the webinar format. So I'm sure you're all pros by now, but if this is your first time joining a Zoom webinar, I can only see your names. So I cannot see your video. I can't hear anybody. So videos and microphones are disabled. You should be able to hear and see me, but I cannot hear or see you. And so if you have a question, the Q&A feature actually is not active on this webinar, but there is a chat. So if you click on the chat near the bottom of your screen, it's kind of in the middle there, you can ask me a question. And all of those questions come just directly to me. So no one else is able to see your question. So I am definitely going to try tonight to get through as many questions as possible. And you can ask me anything. You can ask me questions about myself. You can ask me questions about the upcoming school year, just anything that you want to know. That's what the chat is there for. What you'll find is that I will answer those questions in the chat at the end. So if I don't answer your question right away when you submit it, I appreciate your patience because I'll go through some slides that might help to answer your question. And then any that we don't answer by the end of this presentation, I will for sure save some time to answer those. But like I said, my goal is to wrap up around 6:30. So I wanted to just introduce myself and provide a little bit of background on myself to not only our parents, guardians, but also our students so that you know who Mrs. Larkin is as you are coming into the building. So as I said, my name is Ashleigh Larkin. I've been with the West Bloomfield School District for 11 years now. I call it home. I absolutely love WBSD. It's an amazing place filled with wonderful people. And I truly feel blessed to have started my career in West Bloomfield. So just with education, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from, I did start at MSU. I finished my undergrad degree, my bachelor's at MSU, go green. I then went to went to Wayne State for my master's degree and earned a master's in teaching. And then I started at Central Michigan to earn my ed specialist degree, and I am still working towards that. I took a little break during the pandemic, and so now I'll be going back into that. In terms of my professional career, just so our students and families know, I started my career at West Bloomfield High School. So I am used to working with students in 9th through 12th grade. At the high school, I was a teacher, so I taught social studies. So for any students that love social studies, that is a passion of mine. I taught a Michigan history class, so I'm really excited about the Michigan social studies content at the elementary level. I also was student activities director. So I actually was in the elementary buildings quite a bit because my student leadership class used to partner with different classes at the elementary schools. And we would go in and we would run team building and different activities. So I definitely have been in the elementary buildings in the district quite a bit. After about 6 years as a teacher, I became an assistant principal at the high school. And I served as an AP there for 4 years. And then this past year, I actually moved to Oakland Early College, and I was the head of school at OEC. And then most recently, 2021 and beyond, I am so excited to have the privilege to be the principal at Sheiko. One thing you'll notice, this is especially for our parents and guardians, you'll notice that most of my experience has been at the secondary level. So I'm really excited for this new adventure. I have always felt a calling towards elementary. I am excited to be with a different age group of students. Overall, no matter what, I believe in kid-centered learning. So it doesn't matter how big, how small, that's my philosophy. And I really feel that that transcends K-12 education. I also care deeply about kids and building relationships and connections with students, with family, with staff. And so those are all things that I will definitely be bringing with me to Sheiko. In terms of my family, just so you can get to know me a little bit in that way. And this was a question actually that one student submitted. So one of the questions was, do I have a dog? And I do have a dog. My dog's name is Walker. He is a very large golden doodle, and he is the sweetest dog ever. He loves to go on walks. He's just a really good dog. We did rescue him. I do have a daughter. Her name is Grace. We call her Gracie, and she is 3 years old. So she's going to preschool for the first time this fall, which we're very excited for. And then that's a picture of my husband and my daughter and I. Interest in hobbies. So for students out there, if anyone likes sports, I absolutely love sports. I really like March Madness. That's my favorite time of year. So if you like watching basketball, that's something that I really enjoy. Of course, I root for the Spartans. So I'm really excited for that to hopefully take place again this year. We love to travel in Michigan. I love music, all types of music, love spending time with family. I love to cook. I love to bake and love to read. So this is a book that I'm currently reading along with other elementary principals in the district. One of the other questions that I got from a student was if I ever played on a basketball team. And I did play basketball. So I played basketball all through my elementary years and then also in middle school and in high school. But I was also a cheerleader throughout that time as well. And so in my 10th grade year in high school, I decided to stop playing basketball and continue on with cheerleading. But I have been part of a basketball team. My husband was a basketball coach, so he coached the girls' team at the high school for many years. And so basketball is definitely a big part of our family. So what are some of my goals for this upcoming school year? First and foremost, absolutely number one is going to be building relationships with students, staff, and families. Relationships are at the heart of everything that we do in education. And so I am really looking forward, students, to connecting with you. I can't wait to talk to you, find out what you're interested in, learn your names. You will see me in your classrooms all the time. I can't wait to learn with you and grow with you. And so that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Families, parents, we cannot do what we do without you. So your support means the world to us. So I'm also definitely looking forward to building relationships and connections with each of you as well. Learning and understanding systems and traditions. The staff at Sheiko is amazing, second to none. And I have been fortunate to really work closely with them in this last month and a half. And they are such experts in what they do. And so I have a lot of help in planning everything for back to school. So I'm going to really be taking the year to look at, what are the amazing things happening at Sheiko? Where can we improve? We'll call on all of you to help with that. So students, if you have something that you want to see at Sheiko, let me know. Same thing with you as well to our families. We know that this year, we have a lot of work to do after the past 17 months that we've all just experienced. So supporting our students socially, emotionally, and academically in their return to school is definitely going to be a huge priority, not only for me, but also for our teaching staff. And so we have a lot of things in place that we know will benefit students and will support them in their transition back to the building full time. And then overall, just building the Sheiko team. So we are Team Sheiko. We're building that culture of a family, and that's really how our building should be. So hopefully we have the opportunity to partner and to connect with community events as families, with our staff, with our students, our parents. Even if we aren't able to have the opportunity to do that in person this year, then we will definitely do some virtual events just so that we're continually building those relationships and connections. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the plans for this upcoming school year. So the school district did send the COVID mitigation plan on August 12th. So hopefully you received that email and you've read through those protocols. What you'll notice in those protocols, and it's actually adapted already a little bit, even from today. So no matter what level of risk we are in, the district reserves the right to make a decision on a mask mandate. As of right now, maybe you saw the email that came out today, but for any activities that take place prior to school, we are requiring masks indoors. So for POPSICLES with the principal, which is taking place on Friday, August 27th, when students are outside, it's mask strongly recommended. If students come inside the building, then they must wear their mask. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to let parents and guardians into the building during POPSICLES with the principal because that is part of our COVID mitigation plan this year. So we will not be allowing visitors in the building again this year. In terms of lunch, we will have a spacing of 3 feet or greater between students. We're doing 2 lunch rotations per grade level. So for example, 3rd grade will have a time period for lunch. Within that time period, that grade level will be split into 2 different groups. Group A will eat lunch, while group B is at recess, and then they will flip. So our students will have a 20-minute block for lunch and then a 20-minute block for recess. So that is our plan for lunch, and I'll be sending out more information in our newsletter next week about that. In terms of the new parking lot, we are so excited because they're really putting a great deal of work into the new parking lot at Sheiko. It's going to make things so much more efficient and safe for our students and families. So if you have done the drop off or pickup at Sheiko before, you would have been familiar with the bus line and the car line kind of merging into one. Now the 2 are totally separate. So buses have their own loop that they enter and exit, and same with cars that are dropping off and picking up. So we will be sending out, as soon as the parking lot is done, a video. I'm going to make a screencast where I will show you specifically where to drop off if you plan to do that and pick up. But we will have new procedures. So I will send out a map with arrows and a screencast as soon as we're able to do so. One other feature that I wanted to share with you, and I did share this in the newsletter, is that PowerSchool is going live on Monday, August 23rd. That same day, we will be sending home teacher welcome letters. So you would be able to look in PowerSchool and see who your child's assigned teacher is. And then students, you'll also receive that welcome email, and so will parents home from that specific teacher. So we do hope that you will come to POPSICLES that Friday to meet me, to meet your teacher, and hopefully to see some friends that maybe you haven't been able to see in a little while. But that is the plan thus far. I did want to just give you a screenshot of this form that you'll be receiving from me tomorrow. This form is actually helping us to plan our pickup. So how is your student getting home from school each day? So what you'll see is this form will come to you via email, and all you'll do is check the appropriate box for whichever mode of transportation they're taking or whatever they might be doing after school on the designated day. So if you have a student that's taking the bus Monday through Friday, then you would just check each of these boxes. If you have a student that's taking the bus Monday, Wednesday, but they are getting picked up the other days, you would be able to check those boxes. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that that is coming to you. We really appreciate your help in filling that out and getting that back to us so that we can create our plans for pickup at the end of the day. POPSICLES with the principal, I did mention. So that is Friday, August 27th. It is from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So please note the new time there. Originally, we had it scheduled for the morning. We did have to adapt that time because We have a district PD that Friday morning that our teachers will be attending. So the new time for Popsicles is 1 to 3. You may have seen in the email that went out today that it said 1 to 3:30, and that is not accurate. So it is 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We'll be sending some more information in our newsletter this week about the logistics of that and exactly what that is going to look like. But that's a wonderful time where, like I said, you can meet me, you can meet your teacher, you can drop off school supplies. So those are all things that you would do at Principals. We also, or Popsicles, I'm sorry. We also do have a folder with all of the materials inside, updated paperwork that we would have you complete. If your child cannot attend Popsicles, what will happen is that folder will be given to them on the first day of school, and they can take the folder home to you. You can complete all the forms, and then they can return that to us. All right, so we are at the portion for questions. So I do have a few more questions that students submitted, so I do want to answer those. And then in addition, if you do have questions, please type them in the chat now, and I will be sure to answer those for you. So one of the questions is, are we going to have a pet day? And to be honest with you, I don't know what exactly you mean by that. If this was your question, if that means, are we bringing pictures of our pets in? I have done an event before at the high school that was super fun, where we had like a March Madness contest for people's pets. So we had different ranking systems and students got to vote, and that was really fun. So maybe we'll do something like that. Another question was, is Mrs. James still at Sheiko? And she is not going to be at Sheiko anymore, but she is still in the district, which is awesome for us. She has a brand new title, and she is our executive director for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we could not be more excited for her to have that role. She's going to be just amazing. And we are really excited to see what she does in that role. And so she'll still be working closely with Sheiko. She just won't be in the building every day. And then the last question I received was, why do I want to come to Sheiko? I am just so excited to work with students in a different grade level. I am really thankful because I have seen where students go in terms of academically, socially, emotionally, and really where we need to get students in our district. So I have that knowledge of kind of where students end up. So I'm excited to work with our teachers to really impact students and start thinking about who they want to be, what their passions are, things they love. So I'm very, very excited to work at this level. So I see a lot of questions coming through. So I am going to answer those now. So one of the questions is approximately how many students will be in each class. We are still working on the list per class, but I will tell you that we have approximately 24 to 25 students is probably the average per class. Next question, we have a student at Sheiko and a student at Doherty and would like to speak on the shuttle process between the two schools. So we are going to have a shuttle again. So if you do have a student that is one at Doherty and one at Sheiko, what I have heard happens, and I have to really nail down the logistics of this, I've been working with transportation on it, is that both students would be dropped off at Sheiko, and then the shuttle would arrive and would pick up those students and bus them to Doherty. So the students would get dropped off at Sheiko and then would be bused to Doherty. So I will communicate details on that as soon as I have that information. And the next question is, when will we get information regarding bus routes? I am very hopeful that that will be next week sometime. I have heard, and I know just by being at the high school, that sometimes that information can come as late as the Friday before school starts. So just keep your eyes out for that. We definitely don't have any information on bus routes yet, but I hope that that will be communicated soon. Where can I find my child's school supply list? The school supply lists were sent out in one of the Shark Tales updates. So if you go on the Sheiko website and you look at where all of the Shark Tales newsletters have been posted, they are right in that newsletter. They're also on our website, and then I can send those out as well again this Friday in the newsletter. If your child is new to the school, how do they drop off supplies when they're not familiar with the school or teacher? So all the supplies would be dropped off at POPSICLES with the principal. So I'll be sending exact details home on that. But what you would find is that we'll have tables or boxes for each individual teacher, and students will be able to drop their supplies in that box as they arrive at POPSICLES with the principal. Will masks be mandated for both staff and students? So the mask mandate right now is for all of these events leading up to school starting. And yes, that will be for staff and students. Now, the district did communicate today that they're meeting with the health department next week. And that will really help guide the district on making a decision in terms of masks for the start of the school year. But for POPSICLES with a principal, when we're outside, again, it's mask strongly recommended, but anywhere indoors, it is mask recommended for staff and students. This question looks like it's from a student. I heard older friends talk about penny wars. Will we still have penny wars this school year? I am not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I think penny wars is awesome. We used to do that at the high school as well. It's really great. And I know you raise money for a good cause. And I heard you blew the goal out of the water a couple of years ago. So I know that Ms. Van Ostrand and Mr. Belcourt work with student council. So I'm sure that they will get some good plans in the works. POPSICLES does take place at Sheiko, yes. So if you are wondering location, we will mostly be sticking outside in the playground area, but our parking lot should be completed by that date. So people will be able to park at the school, and we will be outside in that area there. And like I said, students would be able to go into the building, but parents or families would not. True Martial Arts will be partnering this year with Sheiko. Yes, I believe so. Looks like another student question. Will we have a PJ day? That would be awesome. I love PJ day. So that would be great. I love spirit days. Any ideas you have, that would be awesome. In terms of safety, will there be 3 feet of distance in classes? And are there going to be new classes? So the answer to that first question is there will be 3 feet where there can be 3 feet. One other thing we're doing to take the protocols very seriously is we're going to be looking at cohorting groups of students. And so within the classroom, your table group would be your table group. We definitely are trying to distance as best as possible. So yes to that. And then will there be new classes? We did add an additional 4th grade class. So now we have 5 classes instead of 4 to lower those classroom numbers a bit. And we did find a wonderful 4th grade teacher and 5th grade teacher to add to our team. Will the parent group for dads come back? I hope so. I have heard about this group. I absolutely love the concept. And so it would definitely be a goal of mine to bring that group back. As I mentioned, to start the year, we are not going to have visitors in the building, but hopefully as things transition and hopefully we move towards, a better state, I would love to bring that group back. In terms of the Google form that I mentioned for transportation after school, I did get a question that says, how should I complete the document if I plan to drop and pick up on the first day of school, but they use Kids Club? That's fine. So you can just indicate that it will be Kids Club every day, and we'll verify that just for the first day of school. So on that form, just check Kids Club for every day. Okay. There is a question. that I will answer directly to that parent. So if you could email me, there's a question about inclusion for special education students. So if you are that parent, and I'm going to write your name down, if you could email me directly, that would be great. Sanitizing, we have a lot of hand sanitizer again this year. We will definitely, be prepared with that. So students will be encouraged to sanitize anytime they use supplies, move around. We do have hand washing breaks as well. So those things will definitely happen. Okay. Is the intent to have a mask mandate while students are on the bus? And I will tell you that we are following the current guidance that's in place, which is that any individual on a bus, it is mandatory to mask. So any students taking the bus will need to wear a mask. In terms of supplies, I have some people asking if supplies are communal or if they're for individual use. If you've been reading the current research from the CDC and other organizations, there's really been a lot of research out there that COVID is not really spread through surfaces and through touching supplies. And so what we have decided as a district is that supplies can be shared in the classroom. However, if you as a parent are not comfortable with that, you can send your child with their own supply box. And then we will notify the teacher and that particular student can have their supplies. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me here. It's hard to scroll and look at all these at the same time. Okay, so one question about, can the kids that were previously on student council participate since COVID ended our time? So that's something that I will have to talk to the student council advisors about, but we will definitely communicate that information. In terms of ordering school supplies from the school, to my knowledge, I don't believe that we have any type of website or anything that you can order from. So I believe people purchase supplies on their own. If I need to be corrected on that, I will definitely follow up and let you know. Can snacks be encouraged to be outside along with cracked windows in the classroom to improve ventilation? Yes, absolutely. So that is part of the mitigation plan, is when there are windows and when we have the opportunity to increase ventilation, we will definitely be doing so. All of the heating and cooling systems and the filtration has been replaced in the district to the highest level possible. So that is definitely something that we are doing. Plexiglass in classrooms. Are we going to have it? We are not as of right now. Couple other questions. Will twins be put in the same class? If you want to email me individually about that, if you have a concern about that, that would be great. Are students just to be dropped off at POPSICLES since parents can't fully participate? Parents are still welcome to join. Kids do not have to be dropped off. So parents can join outside. You can meet me. I definitely will have a few announcements. So you're welcome to stay outside as you wait for your students. The students will be very brief inside the building. So any student that does want to go inside the building and see their classroom, it will be a quick visit through the building. Okay. Will daily COVID status updates be emailed if anyone tests positive? Yes. So we are continuing that same practice like we had last year. How can I find out if my child needs transportation to Sheiko? You can email me and I can look into that for you. Okay, and then are siblings allowed to go to Popsicle with the principal? Yes, that's totally fine, but they'll have to remain outside. So if they're not a student of Sheiko, they won't be able to go into the building, but they are welcome to join and remain outside. And then I think I have time for one more question. I answered all of them. If I didn't answer your question, what I would ask you to do is please email me. So it's ashleigh.larkin, just as you're seeing on the screen there, at wbsd.org. So last question that I will answer. Do we have the option to do online school? So, you know, back in March, the district gave the option of pursuing Lakers Online or staying in the building. And so that was the decision. If you feel strongly, you can email me and we can talk about it. But at this time, the decisions that were made in March about school are the decisions that we're honoring. My email address again is ashleigh.larkin@wbsd.org. So right as you're seeing on the screen here, ashleigh.larkin@wbsd.org. Okay, so I appreciate all of your time. I will tell you that as a parent, I understand that you are sending us your most precious gift. And I can promise you that we are doing everything in our power to keep our students safe, to make sure that they're cared for in the building, that we're meeting their social emotional needs, their academic needs. I know that all of our staff, from our teachers to our support staff, our administrative assistants, everyone in the building is really there for the students, 100%. We're a team, we're in it together, and we really have to have that one team mindset so that we can get through this together. So I appreciate your grace, your patience as we're working through it. I know everyone has done a wonderful job in being flexible in this past year. You will be receiving a lot of information from me in the next 2 weeks. So please be on a lookout for those SMORE newsletters. And if you have any questions, like I said, please do not hesitate to email me. So I look forward to meeting all of you and getting to know you. Students, I cannot wait to see you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you again for joining me tonight. See you soon.